Hey everyone, my name's Elise. I just got second place at the PPG weekend championship that just happened. I was able to do a striker. It's kind of a funny story of why I'm even playing this deck. So as you guys know, Ryan Yu won last weekend at the LCS with it, and I'm actually gonna put a screenshot up right here of right before the tournament. We were like joking in some thread, and he was like, "You should play striker," and I'm like, "I said I wanted to do something difficult, not insane." Then he just went and got the win, and you know, I was a little bit of a fool there. And then one of my buddies that works here at the locals, Jason, has been like fanboying the deck lately, and he tried to keep throwing the deck at me to play, and I'm like, pay for my tournament entry and I'll do it. And I did, and I really liked it, and it was just a nice change of pace, just so I could play something different. And that's honestly why I entered with the deck. I was gonna enter with Eldlick, but I just wanted to try something different, and it ended up working out. So yeah, shout out to Ryan Yu. It's literally his list, but I'm gonna show it because I figured seeing a physical deck profile would be really cool, and then we'll get into the dual replays of all my rounds and everything. So then shout out to Jason for making me play this deck. So let's just get into it. 3 Ray, she's Bay, duh. 2 Rose, you really only need 2, just because it's not amazing to see right away when you're going first. You guys can speak more, I don't care. You don't have to be silent. But you don't really want to see this right away. It doesn't really do much going first, just because it's not as like proactive as Ray. It does a lot in like mid to late game for like recovery and whatnot. Like, I forgot about how it worked well with Nibiru. Otherwise, like, it was literally a game I lost because I didn't like think about this card as much. I'm not used to playing with it, but once you're kind of more established, this card's amazing, and you just need to play because it's another name for consistency's sake. 3 Ash, it's one of the most versatile hand traps. 3 Veiler, because you play like the combo into Access Code Talker, you need to play 3 of this, so you can like Celine combo. I really don't like, I don't like this card as much, but you just need it, and like even when you like don't like playing it, you have to keep in all 3 copies, which kind of sucks, but it's still fine, but it's what it is. And then 2 Mourner, it's probably the worst hand trap in the deck, but like you need to just have as many as you can, and this is like the next best thing after like everything else on the list. And it's also a tuner, so it comes up. 3 Nibiru, it's one of the best hand traps right now. Card's insane. 3 Imperm. Last hand trap in the deck, it's also insane. Can't really say more about it. That's it for the monsters and the traps. For spells, got 3 Shark Cannon. It's like the best striker card right now, and it just has a lot of applications versus everything. It also helps you like take a tuner, so you can do like the Hulk plays and everything. So it just has a lot of applications. 2 Widow. If we could play more, we would, but it's at 2. 2 Afterburner. You don't want to see it constantly. You can usually pick and choose when you get it, so it's really easy to see, and then you can kind of just wait on it and use it when you really need it. So I don't think 3 is necessary. I think 2 is like the good round number. 2 Area 0, because you don't have as many Sky names as you used to, this card doesn't come up nearly as much as it did. It's still pretty necessary for like role plays and everything, but it definitely, you know, isn't as vital, so cutting down to 2 is like the perfect number. And the 1 rule and the 1 drone.
Get to draw until I have 2
3 Desires. I really did not like this card in the past. Oh yeah, the ulti. So not focusing well enough.
The lighting is pretty bad, but it's okay.
Oh well. But yeah, 3 Desires. I used to just not like this card in like old strikers. I just hated how like I lost my resources like that, but now the deck's just a lot different, and like it's a lot easier to get really good desires and then still just have the right resources you need. So the card's just insane. That's all I could have just said. 3 Cosmic, just because the rest of your deck is catered to like dealing with like Eldritch and Adamancipator, so you want some like a little something for rogue decks since you're not maining the jamming waves, and this card comes in clutch a lot. Like this card definitely helped me out a ton. And then for the 1-ofs, Terraforming, the 1 Mystic Mine, you side the other 2. It's just not good in the main deck as much just because Eldlick exists. And then Rhoda and Upstart. That is it for the main deck. 40 cards. Extra deck. The 3 Kagari, 3 Shizuku, those are standard. 3 Hayate. I know people have been talking about cutting this to 2, but just when you're trying to like access code kill people, you 100% need 3, and also this is just your way to like see your engine outside of like Shizuku, so this card comes up so much. One kinda, it's not super vital, it's kinda important.
Yep, draw based on the non-material use.
You're the one that came up with the joke, Lang.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it has its uses. It's not like super vital, but you just need it. Zeke, I literally did not use any of its effects once, but just the versatility of like when you Widow Anchor take something, or even Nibiru, the availability to clear that without like Area Zero or multi-roll is really important, and then just being able to go into Shizuku afterwards, it makes it so you don't have to play like waste any other Link 2s to get an extra monster off board. And then we play all the facilitators for Access Code Talker, so Hakafabrax, Hida, Celine, and Access Code Talker. This card's insane. Like, yeah, it does so much. I think every deck should play it if they can. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say about it. I think that's what honestly gave the biggest boost to this deck right now is Access Code Talker. Just, you know, making it that much better. So we'll go to the side deck. Side deck has 3 Crow. It's supposed to be for like Eldlik, some of the other rogue matchups like Orchist and Water and sometimes Salad. This is the only change I would really consider. Like, I think the main deck and the extra deck are like super solid. I think it's really refined to a good point. Crow is just kind of weird because like I also would rather sometimes usually have enough to like beat like your opponent without Crow to where like you'd almost want a little bit more for Rogue. So I'd consider like MST or evenly over this. I don't know for sure. I got to think about it more, but Crow's like good, but I think it could be like more useful as something else potentially. And then the other 2 Mystic Minds, the set rotation, and the Metaverse, because you just need this for like all the combo decks and everything. It's your assurance policy. Like you just need it. 2 Jamming Waves. Need this for all the rogue decks. This card is super busted, honest. Like every single back row deck matchup I had, I won because of this card. 3 Judgment and 3 There Can Be Only One. Just when you like need to go first and whatnot, because this is a blind second deck. Then the Judgment's just really good for pacing against all the back row decks. Comes up a lot. I think it's really good. And then yeah, There Can Be Only One is kind of insane. So that's it for the deck list. We'll have the replays showing in just a moment, so stay tuned. Alright, and we are back with the replays of all the rounds. So we'll just start from round 1 and go from there. So round 1, I actually end up playing a mirror match. So I don't remember who wins our RPS. Okay, so he won because I wouldn't have made myself go first. So I don't really know what he's playing. I'm gonna kind of assume Mech Knight Invoked. I opened kind of weirdly. It's a hand where, like, at the very least, I can go Area Zero, target the Rose, and then if I hit something cool, because then I can just multi-roll away the Area Zero, because I just want access to Ray. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I get the Afterburner, which is just nice to have, you know, later on. Then we are going to end up just rolling away the Area Zero, get the Ray, because that's kind of a good card to have. And then just end on Shizuku, set 2, pass. I try and set it, but for some reason I just went to Graveyard instead. I just wanted to not be on my field, I guess. So we just do the set 2 end phase. I'm going to put back the Area Zero. I probably honestly shouldn't have. This is again my inexperience with everything. He did Valor my Shizuku, so I'm not going to get a search. He opened pretty well, so this might be a little bit of an uphill struggle, but we'll definitely see. Well, I guess getting multiple Area Zeros isn't ideal at all, but I mean, it's what it is. He's getting Desires. I have nothing for it. He draws Ash Afterburner, so like his hand started out better at first, but now it's kind of like really awkward. He's just gonna try and trigger the Afterburner. He does manage to get a Ray. I don't really have anything that's gonna be super stellar against it, but for now, so I saw he sent an Afterburner, and then he activates the other one, which is perfectly fine. Even though he does have 3 spells engraved, I don't really care what he pops. He ends up popping the Imperm, which doesn't really bother me at all. I'm still in a decent enough position. I can just summon Ray. So we're sitting pretty okay. He's gonna Cosmic my other back row, just so his, like, plays fully resolve, which I don't really agree with, because he could have just hit my multi-roll, and then that just would have been gone, but I don't know. He's gonna go to Kagari, and I'm gonna chain Ray. I know he had a back Afterburner. There's part of me that kind of wants to bait him, but at the same time, I don't know. But I just go for kinda, just because it's also the most expendable, like, one I have, which I don't really mind. So the other Afterburner is gonna drop, so that just means a lot less resources on his end. Since I do have Rosengrave, I can at least Afterburner his dude and, you know, start to build back up the board. It's definitely not ideal, but we'll see what happens. He does banish my Ray, which is perfectly fine, because if I need to, I can just Hayate it back. I draw the drones, which is really nifty, because I can, if I really want to, I can go, like, drone, summon Hayate, send the Shark Cannon, banish his Ray, and then do the burner. So it's a potential play. It just depends on what I really want to do. First, I'm actually going to Area 0, target my Afterburner, and see what I can get. Just because the Afterburner wasn't completely necessary with, like, the game plan of just somehow clearing this and making it so he didn't have Ray options. I didn't know what his last card in hand was, but it just seemed ideal in that sense. But here we're going to go for the Hayate, swing for some damage, send the... Oh, I send a Widow Anchor. Oh, I know what I... Yeah, this is the second play string I could do. So, which, I don't know, it was okay. Probably shouldn't have done this. I don't know why I did that now. I can't remember my thought process now. But I'm just going to have the Shark Cannon, so I'll just have it for next turn. Since he has no amazing foreseeable resources, I should be pretty okay at this point. I think he is going to eventually summon the Hayate, just to hit in for some damage before he tries to do, like, Kagari plays and whatnot, which is what ends up happening. He sends another Ray, which I don't really understand. I guess he just had nothing better to send at this point. But now he's going to attempt to Kagari, get the burner. I decided to just negate it, and he tries to give it to me, thinking I have enough spells, and I'm like, I definitely only have 2 spells. Now I have 3, but that was last turn. So, he's just gonna climb up into Shizuku, activate the multi-roll, and then activate Area 0 for another spell. He's just gonna do the Widow to take my Shizuku, just so it's, you know, gonna be put back in a main monster zone. Then Roll's gonna reset Widow Anchor and Shark Cannon. So all I have to do is just immediately make a link, and then I can start playing, and I drew Cosmic, which means I can get rid of multi-roll and hopefully make a big enough momentum shift. I've been saying that phrase a lot lately. I don't know. I like that phrase when I can use it. So I try and just clear my Shizuku first before having to link it away. I draw the Afterburner, which is, like, kind of really nice, because that just lets me start picking at his back row. Because what I can do right here is Afterburner away his Shizuku, kill a back row, and then I can Rose. So that's the game plan right here. And I can also use this Shark Cannon, get rid of his Ray when he tries to chain it. I managed to hit the Widow Anchor, which it's not ideal. He does try to Shark Cannon my Rose, and then I just Shark Cannon his Ray. I decided to just summon it because I need a way to, like, start playing this game. Because otherwise I'm just in a losing position at this point. But we're just going to be able to link off his Ray. I link it off to get back the multi-roll, just because since I have the Cosmic in hand, there's a good chance, well, not a good chance, but basically I can just get rid of his multi-roll right here with my Cosmic, and then I'm not playing any more Striker spells after that, but I can just activate the roll to you know, if I want to be able to reset anything else, I don't really have to right now, because once I clear this roll, he's just going to be too far in advantage, and he's just too far behind, and he's just going to be top decking at that point. So here we're just going to send Ray. And then yeah, I'm just going to Cosmic away his multi-roll. I know I'm debating if I actually want to play this roll or not. I end up not doing it, and it looks like my only searchable spell is Area 0, but I should be relatively okay at this point. He draws a Cosmic, which gets him into a Ray, unfortunately. So I'm still in a really kind of tricky situation right now. Because Ray will get himself the Kagari, and he adds back, I believe, Afterburner, which I didn't really... Well, I guess it was his only spell, but it was like, it just didn't seem like that vital to do. Now he's just gonna go to Hayate to attack directly, which is perfectly fine. So actually it's really good right now. All I need to do is... Actually, do I have a Veiler in my grave? Not yet. So, if I'm able to draw a Veiler, I'll be able to access code him for game. So that's kind of what I'm hoping will happen. But since he doesn't set anything, I know his resources... Or he just goes into Shizuku to get the Widow Anchor, so I know his resources. And I top deck Ash, so 100% I can just access code him for game. So what I will do right here is first go into Kagari. Kagari to get back the Shark Cannon. So that way, when I pop his Shizuku... Or no, I get Widow Anchor. It could have gone either way, let's be real for a minute. But I can just Widow Anchor, take his guy, and then go for the access code plays afterwards. So it really didn't matter what I had back at that point, but I summon the heater right there, bring back his Ash, and then go into the Hauka Fabrics, get the Veiler, then we can go into Celine. I think I was debating about adding up the tokens, I just did it just to humor him, but we just go access code for game. So we get to go to game 2. I know he's going to make me start, but my side plan going first or second is going to be relatively the same anyways, so my hand's okay. I'm left without a playmaker right now, so I have to rely on my desires very heavily. I'm able to draw into the terraforming. I think I'm going to attempt to sacrifice the impermanence, just because it's like the least useful card in my hand. Do get the Hornet drones. Okay, I can view my desires. Awesome. I couldn't remember if you could view desires banishes in replays or not. I banished 2 Shark Cannon and a Widow and an Afterburner off my desires, which, like, truth be told, it's relatively fine. He has a Mourner for my Shizuku, which kind of sucks, but I can still set to pass, which is eventually the game plan. But I'm going to set the third, the Jamming Waves just as a bluff, just in case I for some reason need it. He attempts to summon Ray, and then summons Hayate, and I just Judgment the Hayate summon, just so, like, I put him on better have the Hornet Drones, which luckily he doesn't, which means I can start kind of being a little bit aggressive. Since I have the Jamming Waves, I just want to clear both back row out of the way, and yeah, that's what I end up doing. So eventually, we're going to go into Hayate, send the Ray. I drew another Judgment, which is, like, insane. Or not, yeah. But fortunately, it does Veiler my Hayate, but I'm just like, okay, I'll just still swing. That's fine. I'm at least setting a Judgment and having an Ash, and I'm going to be adding off the Shizuku, which is, like, really nice. I add multi-roll just because at this point, he only has 1 card in hand. The likelihood it's going to be anything super progressive is low, so I can just go for the long game with multi-roll. I drew the Veiler. Just try and Area 0 away. Oh, the chat hasn't been scrolling at all. Target the Shizuku, see what I can get, because since I have multi-roll, I can just send the Area 0 to get Ray. I just get the Ray anyway, so I can start being a little bit aggressive, get some damage in. So we get to hit him for 45, because I'm going to go into the Hayate, hit him for the 15. Effect to send the Widow Anchor, just because that's probably like the best thing for me to bring back at this point. which is what I'm going to try to do, but he does crow it, so that means I'm completely out of Widow Anchors now, unfortunately, but we'll at least get an attempt to Shizuku, but he just whiffs and passes turn, draws a Shark Cannon for turn, gives me the pin, and that is the match because he has nothing left. Because, I mean, literally all I'd have to do is just, like, normal summon either of these and I just won, so... yeah, that was round 1, a bit of a clean 2-0. He didn't mitigate around my multi-roll as well in game 1, that probably what cost him the game, so it's what it is. But we get to go to round 2. I'm going to be playing against Rocket right here, which I was kind of excited about at first when I like started to see him play Rocket cards. I should probably turn the sound back on, just so I could see what the Rocket deck could do in this day, like in this current meta. My hand's not amazing for it. My only hand trap is Ash, so we're just gonna see what he can do. Normal summons the silver, specials Router, goes for Striker Dragon. I do decide to Ash the Striker and just putting him on better have the outs, because I think, honestly, with my only hand trap being Ash, that was like the best point to do it. But I'll be real, I do not know the Rocket deck and what it can do in like this current meta, so I probably could have done it at a better point. I'm not 100% sure though. He does search for the Romulus. Or summon the Romulus, and then he's going to get the Ravine, and then also get the Tracer off of the Router. So at this point, I figure he should be able to set up full board. So I'm just waiting for him to do that, and then just see where it goes from there. He dumps his Tracer, also sending Seifert, which I find a little bit weird. I was like, what is he doing? But then it ends up it's going to be the Black Dragon, so he'll be able to start making plays. Honestly, I'm just staying in the game right now, just to make sure he does the right play, because if he does something wrong, I can just capitalize on it, like, immediately. So, then he's gonna Pisty, and I was like, this combo looks weird at first. Like, I don't know how this is gonna end up for, but this is also me not knowing, like, the different ways the deck functions, what other cards you had to fit into the extra deck to be able to, you know, make room for everything, so I'm not, like, as up to speed as I should be with it, but he's just gonna summon the Black Metal, link away the Romulus, and the Black Metal for Protector Whelp, so that'll let him get a search off of the Black Metal, which is gonna be the Red Eyes Wyvern, which kind of tells me that he opened the Darkness Metal, which is what it is. He's going to banish the Protector Whelp in order to summon it, which I thought was a little weird, but then he's going to immediately make Delindrus, and then use Pisty to bring back the Red MD bring back Tracer pop the LP, summon Recharger, and then he's going to eventually make the Quad Boral, and then Quad Boral, he just targets Pisty, which I found really weird, because if he just targeted the Delindrus, he could have brought back the Silver as well. But then he's going to use Red MD, bring back, or he's going to use Recharge to bring back Red MD, and I'm not going to lie, I had no idea what he was trying to do. Like, I don't fucking understand right now. So... Because, like, if he had just popped the Delindrus still could have came back. And then, like, I guess, yeah, he did need to pop the Pisty if he wanted to go into the, Abomination plays. There we go. But it still just feels really weird. Like, his board's just gonna seem really weirdly weak. But he's going to summon the Savage here after bringing back something with Red MD. Then he's going to summon the Abomination. So I don't know what his card in hand is at this point, but I'm assuming it's nothing super relevant. I'm hoping for that. I draw a Hornet Drone. My hand's looking kind of okay. I activate multi-roll first to bait out his Savage Negate, which is perfectly fine. Activate the Area 0, normal summon Ray, and then Area 0 Chain Ray. He does Ash my Area 0, so that means I don't get the free search. but I'm gonna Kagari back for the multi-roll. And then I actually think I can like climb into access code here if I play this right. Or maybe it's not this turn. Okay, I do summon with the Hornet Drone. Oh, yeah, no, I can, because he put the Ashen Grave. Because what I can do here is, heat a summon, and then, yeah, that's right. I realized I could have the access code plays, and just setting the multi-roll was, like, the correct thing to do. It was 100% the correct thing. So, Hulk gets me the Veiler, which gets me the, other plays. I think, yeah, there's enough spells no matter what, but Celine is going to bring back the Veiler, and we're just going to tribute, or not, we're going to link off into access code targeting Celine. So the first thing I pop is his Abomination, because then if I really wanted to, I could summon Rose, but I still do have the multi-roll to send Area 0. But luckily I'm just going to be able to out his entire board. I'm not going to be able to kill the Savage with the access code, but I figured since I can just attack over it anyways, it was 100% better to just get rid of the Ravine since I'm outing it anyways. So yeah. I also forgot about Rose here just because I was like focused on the multi-roll Area 0 thing. So like I said on my deck profile, I'm really not used to Rose yet, so I definitely could have used it to my advantage, but I think I also wanted to keep it in hand just in case for some reason he top decks like super godly. But here I'm going to kind of first just so I have the way to pop the Savage just to swing for more damage. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, we get the 15 and the 53. Hayate is going to send an Area 0. I already used Kagari, so I just wanted another Spell Engrave. But here, I figure he's just not going to be able to out my board anyway, so I'm just going to end on Shizuku and then a Widow Anchor in hand. Since I have the Rose, I figure one card shouldn't be enough to pull him through. Reality, though, I probably should have just gone Zeke into Shizuku just because I did kind of forget about the good old field spell, but I think he was just too low on resources anyway, so even if that were the case, it wouldn't have mattered. But he's going to scoop, and we are going to go to game 2 because he just drew a Phantasme, which does nothing. So game 2, I figure he's just going to go first again. I'm pretty sure most people will go first. Drew really kind of good. I just Mourner his Striker Dragon just to hope for the best. It ends up not mattering because he had Called By. So he's going to start doing plays, and I actually get to see like what his combos look like. So he goes into Halka Fabrax first, and that's going to bring him to Red Rose Dragon. So that was kind of something interesting that I haven't like seen yet, because like I said, I haven't really seen many of the Rocket plays and what they do so far. So he's going to go into Link Cross, which lets him go into Garden Rose Maiden, which is going to let him get the Black Garden. I was debating if I want to Imperm now, but I figure if he, like, the Imperm would just do nothing right now, like, oh no, Black Garden. Like, the Imperm is just doing nothing at this point either way, so there's no real point. He's going to summon the Protector first, and then Black Garden summons a token to my side of the field. Garden Rose is going to bring back the White Rose, getting me a second token. And then I didn't know about Black Garden's second effect, which is really nice for me in this instance, because it just pops my tokens, and then he gets to summon out the Tracer. And then he can just start climbing more, which starts with Appaloosa, and then he can go into the LP plays. He's going to Tracer pop, since everything was kind of ran out anyways. He gets safer, which kind of tells me that he most likely opened the Red MD again, which, wild. He's going to summon the White Dragon, then banish the LP for the Red MD. Red MD bring back Tracer. And then he's going to start Link climbing. He goes to Delindrus first. And I'm gonna assume at this point he doesn't play triple burst, because that's the way, like, in the last game I was like, I feel like everything could just be solved right now if he made triple burst, but probably just doesn't play it. So he's gonna search Black Dragon. I did open Burner and Mystic Mine, so that gives me the availability to potentially stall him off for a little bit, which is what I'm gonna kind of bank on at this point. I'm also saving the Imperm for like when he needs a Quad Boral or when he summons Savage. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely used my Imperm at like a really bad moment in this game, because I was like, oh, I'll just use it on Savage, and maybe he just won't have a way to like recur it. I knew he had Safer Engrave, but he needs a Link Climb ability to be able to get there, which I wasn't sure, you know, what or how that was the, you know, gonna be accomplished. But he goes into Abomination, and then Quad War will pop itself to bring back the rockets, and then he'll be able to summon the Savage from there. And then he also summons Delindrus just to have it, and then I think he used Recharger to bring back Red MD, and then Red MD bring back Recharger. But now he's gonna Savage again. And, yeah, that's annoying, but we're just gonna Afterburner first, get rid of the Negate, and then I can just activate Mystic Mine, freely activate, or I don't activate Desires yet, just because I don't want, like, just in case for some reason he didn't, like, side in outs, or he's gonna take him a minute to get to those outs, I just didn't want to do anything yet, so I was like, hopefully he doesn't draw anything anytime soon. I don't know why the chat's just not scrolling, but yeah. He draws a twin, so that'll be game 2. So we get to go to game 3. I'm gonna make him go first just because, yeah. I draw about the same this time, so we'll just have to see what happens. He kind of, as you guys can see, he kind of opens pretty well. He just summons the Black Dragon, and I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna wait this time. There, like, with the Veiler, there's no reason to right now until he, like, starts to climb in a Romulus or something. And I don't think he makes it right now. He just makes Dagda, which tells me he probably just has the Ravine anyways. He gets to search the Wyvern with the Black Metal, which is cool, I guess. Is that actually not a once per turn? That's crazy. But yeah, he's going to use a Ravine to send the Router to add himself the Tracer. Activate Boot Sector, and then he's going to do Link Cross, which I think I was debating about Veiling, but I decided to wait and just see what he's going to end up doing, which I think was definitely correct. And then he's going to go into Halka Fabrax, which I think there I decided to Veiler since he's just left with 2 random tokens and nothing else. Because his best play here is to find a way to like bring back Tracer, and then I can just crow it. So I'm saying pretty okay at this point. He's going to try and 1-for-1, but he sided out all of his targets, which is really unfortunate for him. And he showed me his deck, even though technically I don't think I had to see it. By Konami rules, I don't have to see it, but he just showed me, and I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to be real. So he adds those all back. I see he only has 2 Ash in his deck, so I'm honestly assuming that this is an Ash. So I actually try my best to play around Ash at this point. So he's just gonna end up passing because he can't really do anything else because he can't link with these and whatnot. I decided to just activate Mystic Mine right now because I'm playing with the thought process of this last card in hand has to be Ash. So, I go Mine into Desires. My draws are pretty decent. Also, I think at this point, show the log. Yeah, at this point we're about like 40 minutes into the game. So yeah, we're getting pretty close to time. So like, I was debating if playing this upstart was even worth it, but I realized at the end of the day, yeah, because me having 3 responses, I think was gonna end up being enough. Just gonna attack with Hayate, because that'll bring him down to like the life point value I need him at to, you know, not die. My Desires wasn't amazing, but it wasn't like bad, so that's kind of good. I hate that I drew the Ray, but that's what it is. Have Hayate is going to send Widow Anchor to get the 4th piece of interruption, because that's always smart to have. And then I'm going to end up going into Shizuku, and then setting 3, and then end phase, go and get the multi-roll. So, start of the turn, he does end up drawing the Twin Twister, which is kind of really nice for him. But this turn he's going to be able to start linking with the tokens, which kind of sucks for me, but so my thought process is the only thing that he can, like, do most likely is attempt to go into Abomination and then try and attack me, which what I can do is I can Shark Cannon to just banish something random, which would just be the Tracer, and then I can Widow Anchor take his guy, and that way I don't take damage. So that's kind of what I'm banking on right this second. He does play the Access Code Talker. So I was like, on res, I'm just gonna imperm. That should hopefully mean he has no more form of extension. And if I get my spell count to high enough, he's only gonna be able to do 400 with this, which is gonna work out perfectly for me. Which I think eventually he's gonna end up trying to Twin Twister, just because he needs to try and get this Safer to go off, which is completely understandable. I do end up Shark Cannoning his Tracer. So now I have 4 spells engraved. I'm 100% in the clear to hopefully win this game, as long as, like, he doesn't have much more. Again, I'm in the thought process of, okay, I know the rest of his hand being Safer, and this is supposed to be Ash, but it's not. So I figure there's just not much he can do besides try and normal Safer. Even if he does it, like, it doesn't, like, extend him to enough plays. He does send the White Rose to get the Tracer, which I think if he would have gotten, like, the White Dragon, maybe would have been enough, but he does Boot to summon it, which doesn't really do anything for him. So, with Tracer being his only other play that's left, I do decide to attempt to Widow Anchor and take it, and that way I just have another body on board. And yeah, just looking at all of his resources, he literally should have nothing left that he can make or go into that's going to be able to cause enough damage to make me lose. So he just passes, and I'm like, alright, time. So I think that was like one of the few times I really took a time victory this tournament, but overall I was going to be most likely winning this game no matter what, just because of the resources I had access to, so I was sitting pretty well no matter what. So that'll be it for round 2. Round 3, we're playing against Xylenced. He's a huge DB grinder, and I think he used to stream. I don't think he streams anymore, but when I saw that I was playing him, I figured, because I know lately he's been grinding Rock on DB, but I also know, like, he's just played Guru a ton just across time, so he's gonna end up going first. Weird. He starts off with the Hidden City. I don't have sounds on again. I just Ash it, and he has the Nemesis Archer for turn. Okay, I'm going to turn this off because it's lagging my shit hard. So, all I know is he has the Archer, so I kind of need to play it slow, because I don't have a way to... Oh my god, it made this game now lag so much. I don't have a good way to play around the Archer right now, so... For now, I'm just going to play the slow game of trying to, like, Hayate, eventually build up the resources to, like, take this, or do something with it. So I'm going to send the Widow Anchor, link up to Kagari, get back the Widow. I think I'm just going to go Shizuku set 2 or 3 pass, because I can definitely, yep, I'm going to bait with the Afterburner that this is like an imperm to like negate this or whatever. Surprisingly he lets everything go through and just doesn't use the Fiendus yet. I'm guessing he's waiting for more of a power play. And it just has 2 hand traps that aren't good against me, which is hilarious. He does go for killing my Shizuku, which is perfectly fine, because I can just summon out Ray and then get another potential thing to play with, but it ends up, or he ends up using the Fiendus there, which is perfectly fine by me. I can still just do, like, Ray plays. I draw Area 0, which is kind of nice, which means I can do, like, the Ray chain plays. I go Ray target, Area 0 target Ray, chain Ray. I'm just going to go into Hayate, just because, again, I'm going to start poking. I do forget about Hidden City's second effect. That's my bad. But, It's actually going to end up being relatively okay. I mean, not right this second, honestly, because, as you can tell, I have no spells engrave. So, I still can't, like, Widow Anchor him to, you know, do the play I want to. And I'm like, alright, Hidden City's fine. And then he's going to Cosmic away my multi-roll, which is what it is. Archer's flipped up, but I'm just going to go into Shizuku, try and get something else in past turn. We're going to end up getting the Shark Cannon just so I have as many things as I can. And then he just ends up passing again, I think. Or he might just attack into my Shizuku again. No, he just ends up passing. I draw Upstart, which is really nice, because what I can do... it just gives me another spell engrave, and then I draw a Roto, which is just... I'm just getting the nuts right here. Add Rose, and then I can... I think I eventually just... Shark Cannon, banish something, and then... Oh no, I try and get rid of this first. Which I end up doing because I had another rose. I have both roses in hand for some goddamn reason. Gonna Widow Anchor take his guy. I don't have enough for game yet, and I don't know. I felt like I could make a game shot at this point. I don't really know why I did, but I just did. I decided to make Hayate first, and then go into the Hulk, and then I can go into the access code plays. He's debating about gammaing me here, I guess. I think he's just wanting to Nibiru more than anything else. So I summon Celine, and here's where he rocks. So we get ourselves a nice beefy token. We do get to summon Ray, though. So what that lets me do is summon Zeke. Eventually, I'm going to Kagari first, just because I want to do that anyways. Lets me get Widow. It just lets me overall play the game. There is actually a way I can go into access code and game him right now, which is really cool. So I can just make Zeke right here. And then Widow Anchor take his guy. So I go Rose first, and then I go Widow Anchor take his guy. And then I also Shark Cannon summon another thing. I do make a little bit of a misstep right here. Not calcing the damage well enough. I should have kept the Nibiru because that would have actually been game, but I don't know how to math. But he just ends up scooping anyways, and then he reminds me... I tried to target Celine. I'm not used to Access Code Talker yet. I thought you just targeted a Link monster, but oops! But we're going to end up going into Game 2. He's going to make me start, which is perfectly fine. Since I put in like judgments and stuff, that's overall going to be, you know, pretty good. My hand's not bad, it's not great either, but I have Upstart and Desire, so I at least get to attempt to fix that a little bit. I draw into Terraforming. I kept it in the Mystic Mine because I just didn't have enough to side out. I probably could have found something else to side out, but it's perfectly fine. It's actually going to end up working out in my favor a little bit, but we're just going to end up Era Zero chaining Ray, summon Shizuku, obviously, and we're going to end up getting the Jamming Wave, which Jamming Wave is just insane in this matchup. It helps clean up so well. Eventually, we're just going to set one pass just because I don't want to set the Shark and just let it die for some reason. He draws a Phantasme for turn, which is kind of unfortunate. And he also has Cosmic for my set, which, I mean, it was just an imperm anyways, but now he gets the peace of mind of being able to fully go off because he also has Called By in hand. So he's going to be getting his Guru plays. Guru getting Final Battle, which tells me he has a Phoenix in hand. He just sets 2 and passes. So, draw a Veiler for turn. I do have 3 spells engraved, so I can start to go off with the Jamming Waves. I want to use multi-roll first, just so I can bait out the Fiendus, because I can always just Kagari back anyways, which I think... I just activate this so I can act like I want to send it and have nothing else. But he does just Fiendus away my multi-roll right there. I set my Mystic Mine, and then I target a random one. I don't really know what I'm going after fully, but banishes my Ray, and I'm like, alright, that's fine. And then kill his Guru, so now I can start hitting him for a bit. I do decide to go for the Kagari play right here to get back my multi-roll, because I thought that was just going to be important in the long run, which unfortunately he does reveal Phantasme, so... The multi-roll isn't as amazing as I'd like it to be, but it's what it is. I can't really hit over the Phantasme exactly. I don't know why I even activated on mine. I could just hit, click roll, but yeah, I only have 6 spells engraved, so I'm not really in a good spot to be doing major pushes. I decided to take his Guru because I was gonna try and I think he had. I forgot why I did that. Oh yeah, I wanted to Zeke, get rid of this, and then continue to climb up and whatnot. So here we're just gonna go to battle phase. Well, not yet. I think I'm gonna Hayate first. Yep. So Hayate attack directly, sending the Ray just so I have access to it, and then Shizuku's gonna get me the Widow Anchor, and I just don't activate it, and then I pass. Oh, I do reset the Jamming Waves because Jamming Wave is amazing in this matchup. Duh. He does set the Guru, so I found out he had the second Guru, Joy. Does add the Fiendus, and then he's gonna be able to hit over my Shizuku because he does have the boosted thing. I knew he had the final battle, which is why I should have Veilered. I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I should be fine. But then I was like, oh yeah, I should have done that. But it's what it is. I'll be able to at least attempt to bring back Ray, but he does Fiendus it. Or no, that's not what he Fienduses. So actually here's a huge thing, a huge misstep I had. I Ray? I don't remember anymore. But I attempt to multi-roll right away to send this, and he does go for Fiendus. I forgot that this doesn't destroy as well, so it goes to Grave. He doesn't even say anything about it at that point. I try and flip up Guru to, and then normal summon Rose, so I can, link climb a bit. I realize there's a way I can, get back in this game. If I, bait him in using the final battle here, I can, Rose go into Kagari, bring back the multi-roll, send this, and then, I can Jamming Waves to target this, and then I just pop the Guru. He only will have Phantasme left. I don't have enough spells engraved to kill this, but, it's still kind of in my favor to do that. I mean, I do have Widow Anchor, so, I could do that as well. And here is where, so this man right here, PoeDW, reminds me, or he, messages me and saying, oh, the roll wasn't supposed to leave. And then, I'm like, oops, I guess I have to repair the game state. So I start rewinding the plays, and then he's like, he says this right here. Look, we get it. Your win con is slow play. Play now, please. And I'm like, bruh, I was repairing the game state. I genuinely forgot that your Fiendus didn't destroy, and you've been playing Subterrors for how long and couldn't have reminded me that my roll wasn't supposed to go. So either you're trying to cheat me, or you're just, I don't know. But, I mean, you could have easily forgotten too, but it's like, why are you trying to accuse me of soul playing when, you didn't even attempt to remind me that your Fiendus doesn't destroy? So it's just, I don't know. It annoyed me more than it should have, but it was just the fact that he said that when you didn't even remember that you were supposed to remind me how your cards work. So that just, it rubbed me the wrong way a lot. But at that point, I was going to be too far behind in resources, especially since I couldn't clear the Guru. It was just best for me to scoop and go to game 3. Actually, I want to check something. I want to check the logs really quick, because, yeah, we were only, 30 minutes into the round. We still had another 20 minutes to do game 3. And I guess that games can take long, but, I don't know, I'm spending too much time on this. It really doesn't matter that much. So he activates Hidden City. I'm just going to Ash it, just because it feels like the best thing to do. He's going to set 2 and pass. I just immediately go for Desires, and I think he's just going to end up Ashing it, which, perfectly fine. We're just going to North Summon Ray, and then start to do the Ray plays. Ray hit for 15. Race, and then Hayate. I think this is a game I actually might have lost my multi-roll. Yeah, I did lose a multi-roll in this game, so that's actually going to make things a lot harder. But I'm going to end up sending the jamming waves right here, Kagari recurring the jamming waves, and then I'm not going to use the jamming waves right now because I have no immediate threat that's happening. I might as well wait until, he has an onboard threat ready and waiting to happen. So I just go Shizuku, and luckily I didn't banish the second jamming wave, so I can set to just a prep just in case, and then get my second jamming waves, and that should put me in a big enough position to where I should be okay. At least that's what we're going to hope for. So at end phase, he's thinking about cosmicking something. He rolls a die for it, and he rolls a 2, and ends up being the Widow Anchor, which is not what I wanted to be hit. But it's what it is. And then he has a set rotation, so I know he's going to at least start to get off Guru plays. He's sitting at 4k at least, so I'm in a pretty decent situation for, what's going on right now. So goes for Hidden City, gets his Guru, set Guru, flip it, and then he's going to be able to get a final battle. Eventually. Yep, there's a final battle. And then he'll just set one pass. I drew into Ash, which isn't, amazing. But I can start to pick apart his board right here. So I attempt to Jamming Wave, target the thing at first, and then he goes for the Fiendus to negate it, which I'm like, that's fine. So what I can do here, since I know this is final battle, I can Shark Cannon to banish the Fiendus, and then I can go for the Jamming Waves to kill his final battle, which will end up killing his Guru, since I will, at that point, have 3 spells engraved. I figure I needed to be a little bit more aggressive because he's low on life. I also have the Ray in hand and the Ash in hand, so if I end up not using the Ash, which I think I do end up saving it, I can just go for Hop of Fabrax plays. He does flip up Guru at first, but I do decide to Ash. I really don't get why I did that. But then I do end up jamming waves, because there's no one card that was going to kill me, but I guess I was trying to play the slow game still for some reason. But I do add back the jamming waves, and then just attack with Kagari. You know what I could have done? Could have Shark Cannon this back. Elise, you slippin'. But I was more thinking about the long game, which wasn't correct at all, but it's fine. We'll get through this. So Shizuku's gonna get my Widow Anchor, because I also might have banished my last Shark Cannon, because I did definitely set at 1, because it's not as vital. Does draw Extravagance, which is insane. I literally could have ended the game last turn, but we're learning. I think I was also scared of hand traps, and that's why I want to play it a little bit more slow. Guru's gonna get him a Fiendus, and then I draw Afterburner, which is kind of nice. I target the field spell, and he just let it go through, which I really didn't get. I guess he thought I couldn't game him, but then I just normal summon Ray, attack for game, and yeah. So that is round 3, I believe? Yeah, round 3. So now we get to go in round 4. Had a pretty mixed bag of matchups so far, which is crazy. But yeah, so this round, going against Rock, actually, and he starts. Turn the sound back on again. I open pretty well. Imperm Nibiru, that's perfect. He whiffs off of the Seeker, which is huge. So I figure at this point, if his normal summon was Seeker, and he literally didn't do anything else and go straight into Needle Fiber, I figure just going straight for Imperm is fine, and it ends up actually just being perfect, because, he's just gonna end up passing, or no, he's gonna go into Link Cross first. But then he goes into Block Dragon. Then he links away for the Cerberus. Oh yeah, I think I wait for him to go off a little bit more first. And what's sad is, the only way he can start playing again is if he banishes his Block Dragon off of Gigantes. But the moment he does it, I can actually just drop. Oh no, I can't drop Nibiru at that point. That's dumb. I wait for the Researcher to drop, and then I can Nibiru him. And now he can't play one bit. And my hand's just amazing to play through this, because I have the Rhoda, I have the multi-roll, I have the Afterburner, worst comes to worst, so we're just sitting really good. This thing has, enough defense where this Nibiru is actually not hitting over it. I realized it after, but it was gonna have enough attack either way, so it didn't really matter. And luckily he's gonna be in a position where he's just not really playing. I do have the Rhoda, so Rhoda for Ray. I think at this point I do decide to just multi-roll away the Nibiru. It just has no point, because I can just burner kill that, summon Ray, and then Hayate to send a Widow Anchor, add back the Widow Anchor, and then I can search for another Widow Anchor if I want to, or I can get something else. I decided to get Shark Cannon, just because I'm trying to remove as many Earths from Graves, so he just can't immediately block Dragon right away, or if he does it, he has to neg really hard. So we're just going to do up that and end up passing. I have 2 negates in the form of Mourner and Widow Anchor, so I should be sitting pretty okay. He does end up scooping right there, so clean game 1, luckily enough. Game 2, we are going to be starting, which I thought he was going to go first still, but it ends up being okay. I have 3 hand traps to play with. Not much else, though, which is kind of unfortunate. But I can potentially get a spell off of this right here. Let's check my desires. See if I banished enough good stuff. I literally only banished like an Afterburner, and then I think 1 Ray and a Rose. So I'm sitting pretty okay. So there's a good chance I reveal something off of this Area 0, but I don't. So we're just going to end up Shizuku passing, which, oh well. That's going to get us a Widow Anchor, and we're just going to hope that the hand traps do enough for us. He goes to Unexpected Die, and then he's going to go into Petting Cessor, and then overlay into the Granite, and this I'm just going to immediately Ash, just because that feels like the best place to do it. He goes for Seeker again. He gets another whiff. I'm feeling so good right now, just because there's like nothing he can do to really hurt me that much. So he goes into the Hulk. I just Veiler it and then pass. Immediately going to Hayate. I'm gonna try and do like the Hayate knock thing. Since I have the Ray Engrave, he does end up chaining out the Hulk, which is perfectly fine. I can't take the Marcher, so I decided to just let it go through, and I can just save the Widow Anchor for the next turn. I do just hit over Seeker, though, just so he just doesn't have extra resources. It kind of feels smart enough. I'm going to send the Shark Cannon here. I don't really get why I did this. I'm trying to remember why. I really don't remember why I did that. Did I just think another Widow wasn't important? Am I, like, going crazy? I don't know. But we're going to set to... Okay, so this is really dumb. So I overthought with Mystic Mine, and I was like, oh, I can activate Mystic Mine, and then on his next turn, he just literally can't play, because if he summons a monster, he can't do shit. So I'm in, like, a really good situation. But then after I play it, I'm like, oh, wait. That's not how that works. But I have another Mystic Mine in hand, so it's fine. Add the multi-roll with the Shizuku, since that's, like, one of the best things to get me back in the game. I feel like, since he had to stop a lot earlier, I should be okay. I think I also got the Shark Cannon just so, like, I could attempt to win on the following turn. He just normal summons Doki. I think he eventually discards Gigantes, and I just Veiler it, and he feels like he just doesn't have enough steam, and scoops up the game. I mean, I feel like he had to at least attempt to do a little bit more, but I think it was all going to be in vain, so... Luckily, my 1 rock matchup ended up being a lot less worrisome than I thought it was going to be. So, we get to go into the next round, which is going to be against Altergeist, which is really unfortunate. I didn't want to play this many back row decks in this event, but, you know, it's what it is. So, he's going to start off with the Marionetter, which is going to grab him the Protocol. Set to pass. I do have the Rose and the Hornet and all that stuff, so I do decide to just Hornet Drone to summon the Hayate. I decided to get rid of the protocol right now, just so I don't have to like worry about it, and I for sure will get a Ray engrave. Because I want a Ray crash, and then summon Kagari, add back. Or no, do I summon Kagari? I can't remember what I do. Let's see what happens. If I send Ray, Ray's gonna summon. Okay, I just go straight into Shiz. Because, yeah, there's no point to recur the Hornet drones. But he's actually going to end up going for TT right here, which I really didn't see coming. Apparently, this is the thing people are doing now. I didn't know about. But luckily, we do have the Rose in hand, so I'm just going to Kagari back the drones just to have it. And I just set the anchor and pass turn. He's going to end up shuffling back with spoofing to get, I believe, a Marionetter. Marionetter is going to let him attempt to normal summon. I decided to save the Veiler for some reason. I think I overthought with the spoofing. I 100% should have saved this Widow Anchor, but it's what it is. So we're going to draw for turn, draw Nibiru, not really useful. I think I just try and... Oh yeah, I want to try and go into the Halka Fabrics play right now, just because I feel like I'm just in a losing situation. I just need to try and be aggressive. Doesn't end up working out. I at the very least have Hornet Drone, so I can go into the Celine play right here. Oh yeah, I wanted to say Veiler, so I could make Halka Fabrics. Duh. Drone is going to give me Kagari, which is going to get me the Widow. He was almost debating about Veiling, and I wish he did. Here I'm actually just going to Battle Phase attempt to start attacking, because the thinking there was kind of a telltale sign he had some sort of hand trap, which is what I'm going to, play with. But at the very least, I get to just hit him with a couple hits directly. He just adds another Marionetter. I just bridge into Zeke, and then go into Shizuku, set one pass, and he does end up having the Veiler, so it's fine. Summons Marionetter. I really can't use the Widow right now, so unfortunately that means he'll be able to get the Multifaker and just net all the advantage he needs. He has double protocol, so I'm just not even going to try and play it out more than this. I just end up losing. So game 2, I have my jamming waves in this time, so it should hopefully make it easier. We'll make him start. He thought I was going to go first because I did it evenly, but I guess he was also trying to play the minimalist game. So he just ends up setting one passing. It's not even a trap card. So straight up, I just have to start with Desires. Luckily, I draw Rhoda and multi-roll, which is kind of crazy. I do banish one of my jamming waves off of the Desires, which kind of sucks, but we'll deal with it. So we get to add Ray, roll summon the Ray, attack directly, do the whole Ray, chain out, Hayate. I can't remember what I get right here. I ended up just dumping Hornet Drones, because there's nothing I really wanted to send at this point, because I was just going to add with Shizuku anyways. And, it just didn't really matter. So I ended up going set 2 pass. I didn't think the Widow Anchor was really worth setting, so I just ended up not doing it. And I just add the jamming waves. I have double Veiler anyways, so since he doesn't most likely won't have a protocol set up, unless this is it, the double Veiler should carry me there. But he ends up cycloning away my Judgment, which I was trying to be too big brain with the Imperm, but it's what it is. So main phase, he's gonna and then go into battle phase evenly, and I'm like, okay, so I've just banished one, but he does have the Multifaker, so he's at least gonna be able to do that still in battle phase. He links into Milliseek, so he can start building up the board right now, which first step for that is Hextia. Hextia is going to add the Marionetter. Since he doesn't have Protocol up yet, when he summons Marionetter, I can just Veiler that, and then he decides right here to link away both monsters into the Hextia to get the manifestation, and he sets... thought he set everything. Okay. He only ended up setting 2. Immediately activates manifestations. I can't do anything with the jamming waves, which is perfectly fine. I don't really care about the Multifaker coming back immediately. I I was trying to bait. I was debating if I wanted to just get the Hexia right now, but I decided there's really no point to it. So he brings up back the Faker right now. I was still, again, thinking about doing the Widow Anchor. It just didn't seem smart, because what I can do here is, so I attempt Array, and he just strikes that. So now I have the clear way to get to game. So I activate multi-roll. He can attempt to negate with Hexia, but then I can just take it with the Widow Anchor. Normal summon the Rose, and then just attempt to attack for game. But he does have the Imperm, which makes it not be game. So he goes attack with Rose, or I go attack with, I keep telling him trying to attack with Rose. He Imperms me so he can summon the Faker just so he doesn't die this turn, hoping that's enough to get him, to stay in the game. I do have to get rid of Hexia because I just don't, even though he gets to add a card, there's only so many cards he can add that's going to, be progressive enough to win him the game. So I'm like, that's fine. He can add whatever he wants. I don't know. The only thing I know in hand is Manifestation. So I think one of his better plays is going to be go for Protocol or something, which is what he ends up doing. And then I'm just going to end up going in a Kagari for the Widow Anchor. Because worst comes to worst, if he summoned a Meliseek or something, which he has in hand, I have the Widow Anchor for it, and I can always just take it if necessary. Also, this match was a feature match for PPG, so all these players are sitting around for Striker Geist gameplay, but then again, you guys are too, so oops. I'm just going to end up adding Shark Cannon to banish his Faker and just make it so he has a lot harder time of regrinding. Plus, since I know he has Manifestation, I can just reset the Shark Cannon and just wait till he tries to do those plays. So he passes turn, he draws the Extravagance off the top deck. Can't do anything about that. So he'll draw 2, it's just a ton of traps. And he's gonna summon the Meliseek, and I'm like, hold up, in main phase 1 I'm gonna Veiler it. Because that's correct. And he just sets 4 passes. I drew a Cosmic, which is super busted, because the Shark Cannon is going to take care of one form of interruption, which is the Manifestation immediately, which is a good start. And I know he has Protocol, so I really only have to fear these 2 right here, so we'll see what he tries to do. He does start off with the Manifestation. I attempt a Shark Cannon. He first shuffles back with with the Spoofing, and then he Imperms. So now he's just leaving himself wide open to lose. He does summon back the Silk. I think he does decide to activate Protocol and then bounce with Silk. I attempt to Ray. He tributes with Silk. He tributes to Silk with Protocol, but I'm going to Cosmic away his Protocol, and that's going to be the game. So now we get to go to Game 3. So, same play as Game 2. I'm hopefully going second. He does end up going first. It's correct. Starts with Extravagance. I just Ash it. His hand is really booty otherwise. He just sets 1 passes, just because it's not really worth it to do anything else. Try and normal summon Ray. He does Judgment it, and I'm like, okay, well, I have a Judgment and there can be only 1. So I think as long as he doesn't do any aggressive power plays, the fact that I have Ray means I should just be able to, kill him. And he just summons Silk and sets both cards in his hand and passes, which is perfectly fine by me. I have Ray. So if I really want to, I can Afterburner just to get that out of the way and just deal more damage, which is what I end up doing. So we'll attack with Ray for the 15. And then, since I have the Judgment, I'm not really scared of anything. He attempts a strike, because he pays 15 as I chain Ray out. And then Judgment is strike, which means it resolves and I get to summon Hayate and go for game. Watch this. Watch this, baby. Yes, I did it. Oh my god. I don't know. I was scared of backward decks a lot more than I should have been, but they were kind of scary. Let's not lie. So round 6, we get to play against our good buddy Pac. If you haven't checked out Pac on YouTube, you should. He's playing Water Air. I knew what he's playing. I checked out his stream a bit and just some of his matches he was playing. So he's going to go first. I need to stop this. Okay, so I opened kind of okay. I opened Mystic Mine and 3 hand traps, so as long as he doesn't set up enough negates, I actually have a pretty good shot of being able to win at this point. He has a Minstrel. There's probably a moment I should have just ashed this, but it's fine. He does look at my hand and gets rid of the Imperm, which is actually what I wanted him to get rid of, because if Valor and Ash are enough to slow him down, then, and he only ends on like 1 negate, I can Imperm his 1 negate and then activate Mystic Mine and pass and hope that he just doesn't man any out. So then he's going to get the Lapis Dragon off of the Dragoons, start to make the Hulk plays, and I do Ash, and he just decides to pass for some reason. I draw a Cosmic Cyclone, which is fucking awful, but we're just going to set in Perm. He decides to chain out the Hulk for some reason, it doesn't really matter. Summons Coral just to like act like he has something. Passes. I try and play this Mystic Mind game for a while, because I thought he would just respect me and, you know, eventually scoop. This is going to go on for a while. I just said away because I figure there's no way he's actually mating back row. Or I want to wait till the point where I have like the resources to be able to attempt to game him, which I'm almost there. I need a few more spells to do it. Like, mainly just, you know, the Widows and the Sharks and whatnot. So he sets 1, I decide to Cosmic it, just because I want to clear up a zone, because I need real estate. I do have a Shark, but like, yeah, I just need a zone for when I eventually draw a Widow, which doesn't happen. And he does have the Avarice, but... Okay, so he fucks up there, because he puts the Avarice in my Imperm zone at first. I Imperm to negate his thing, and then he plays the second Avarice in the Imperm zone, so he 100% loses at that point. I mean, if he said, oh, can I move it? I probably would have said yes, but he just decided to scoop because he felt like there was no point. Therefore, proving he had no outs in his main deck. Come on, Pack. Let's be real for a minute. You weren't having outs in your main deck. So, game 2, he's going to make me go first. I wasn't 100% sure if he's going to do that, so I don't side too heavily for going second, but I do enough to where, like, it matters. His hand is just kind of bad, but I don't get to draw off Desires. Unfortunate. And my Desires is, like, a really good one, except for the fact that I lose both my Area 0 for, like, no reason. I just summon Ray, and then activate Multi-Roll, because I'm just probably more scared of that deck than I should be. Set the Shark Cannon and just pass, just so I don't immediately lose. His only play is to 1 for 1, which is kind of nifty for me. He could Lightning Storm if he wanted to. He's going to set 2 pass because he doesn't feel like he's going to be able to do enough while I have like hand traps and whatnot. He has a Reboot and a Cosmic, which is interesting. But we're just going to go Hayate. Start to poke him a bit. Send a Widow Anchor. And then Kagari, I back the Widow Anchor. That was an obvious misclick for the Shizuku. Set the Widow Anchor. End phase, Shizuku. Just add Burner. Just because I feel like I have 3 hand traps and I have these 2. That should be enough. Here he does decide a Lightning Storm because he thinks he's going to be able to go off, which he 1 for 1's discarding the O-line, which is perfectly fine. Summons the Prince and also gets token. When he sends off Dragoons, I'm going to just crow his goon so he doesn't get the search. So he's just going to be stuck with like these cards on board, which isn't amazing. He's going to add Infantry. I guess thinking he'll have a play later or something. I think he's just going to end up passing. No, he goes in a RA first to attack over my Shizuku, or area, whatever. But I have Ray, so I can like Ray and Shizuku get a whatever I'm missing. Which is I think what I eventually do. He does summon out my Shizuku, but I actually go to Kagari to just get back to Widow. Or no, I just leave the Ray on board, because there's like no point for me to shiz. So here I make a huge misplay, and we're going to learn from it. So here, I decided to attack directly with Hayate, which, I mean, that wasn't the misplay yet, but, I decided to send a Afterburner, thinking, oh, I need another spell engrave so that this Afterburner, like, gets value. I probably should have sent the Rose right here. I was too concerned about his back row, but, like, realistically, his back row is nothing, so I don't know why I did that. Let me Widow Anchor, take control of his area. I do have the... There can be only 1 Nibiru and Valor, so I felt like I'd be safe enough like going into the Zeke and a Shizuku play. I don't think I really had much left I could search though. Oh, I can search Shark Cannon. That's cool. He's gonna draw Diva, but he does just Cosmic Mind. There can be only one. Normal summons the infantry first, which, I mean, I can't really Veiler that. I have to Veiler the Diva, because otherwise he just gets too much advantage. So here he's going to start to go off with the Hulk plays. I think he just immediately goes into Auroradon, and, you know, makes the tokens. Here's where in Nibiru, after he summons the thing, I 100% could have, if I had Rosengrave, then, like, I could have just gone for game this next turn. Also, we both forgot about the token gaining Shizuku's attack. I'm only used to like the Auroradon thing. I would have just put it in defense otherwise. It's fucking fine. Oops. But yeah. And then he just top decks Reborn. I do have the Ash, so I can at least Ash the goons. So I can't really do too much yet. But if I, like, just draw a Ray or a Rose, I can game him, but I still don't draw it. I just set my Shark Cannon just in case he clears Nibiru, and then I can, like, interrupt him, but he's gonna get the Avarice and put back enough, and just hopefully he draws good enough. He draws Diva and also Infantry, so he's just gonna have way too much board presence, and he's gonna be able to game me, because he put back everything. He blows up my last back row, and then, yeah, does all the plays. And yeah, it's... He doesn't game me, but I think it was just enough to where I just wasn't coming back, and I misplayed too much at that point. So game 3, I opened Double Crow. It's really not good, because he just has Hauka Fabrex plays. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't really... DD Crow, or Call by the Grey is my Crow as well, so I just do the second one, but at this point, he's going to be able to full combo, basically get rid of my whole hand. Or no, he's not going to be able to get rid of my hand, but he does play Mystic Mine out, so it's just going to be way too tricky at this point. Except for the fact that he actually messes up right here, and now he can't end on Savage, but he still has, like, the one negate. I draw for turn and it's a Veiler, so really not good at all. He has Ash from my Roto, which is really unfortunate, but then he's going to be able to negate the Desires. And then I'm like, okay, I can just Mystic Mine. Immediately draws the out. And yeah, that's just it. I'm not bullshitting around at that point, so unfortunately lost due to the misplay of not sending the Rose sooner and respecting his back row too much, but it's what it is. Yeah, I learned to respect Rose a lot more. And then final round of Swiss, we get to play against Triff. We're at table 2 for this round, so I thought even if I lose, I should be able to top. So we're hoping for that right here. Triff gets a start. He knows what I'm playing, so like he knows, you know, what's going on. So he just knew no matter who won the roll, he was gonna go first. Normal summons Blue Boy. I just said Imperm right here because I didn't want him getting too much card advantage. He plays Jester Confid. I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy. So he goes into Crowley. I kind of had to hope that he hits the Blue Boy instead of like the other two. I actually activated Secrets this turn, so just literally not Knowledge, which luckily he doesn't hit it, but he still has an Allure to attempt to dig a little bit deeper. He banishes an Endymion, and he still has an Upstart, so he's going to be able to do Servant plays. So I'm going to be real. I just don't win at this point. He's going to be able to fully go off. Summons Abductor, because he wants to be able to get the search off of it to summon the souls and just get a little more plussing like that, because he can send the Secret Straw one, summon Celine, then summon an IP, summon back everything, make another Celine, summon back the Mighty Master, summon Cross Sheep to bring out the Vortex, and then he can bring out his third Celine and pass turn, and yeah, you can tell my hand is not built to break this board, so I'm just going to end up scooping. And game 2, I do decide to go first, just because the hand traps, like, hand trap suite is really not that good at dealing with Pendulum in general, so I figure my best shot is, like, putting in Judgment, and there can be only one, and just hoping for the best, which I do draw that there can be only one. I do end up setting 3. I decided to keep the Hornet in my hand just to be on the safe side. I figure with 3 sets, that should be enough to, like, potentially bait out something if you put in whatever. Just decided to add Afterburner, just because I figure the spot removal will be more important than me taking something. He immediately summons Pankrotop, so I'm super worried. I cannot just be aggressive with this. There can be only one. I have to really just wait and see. He has 2 restage in hand. That's kind of funny. But, he activates Servant, and then restage, summons off of Reflection, and he decides to bounce with Reflection, and he luckily targets my Shark Cannon, which is insane for me. And then, since he played the thing in the other zone, Servant's going to be in my Imperm zone. He tries to activate Servant. I just Imperm targeting the Reflection, because if I target the Pank, he'll just tribute it, so there's no real reason to do that. I think he could have just Pank to tribute to kill my Imperm. Yeah, I think he could have, but, like, it just didn't... It's not really, like, great, because then he just loses a potential Pank pop, and, like, a more aggressive play later on, because he can easily just build up these spell counters later anyways. So we just go Ray and a Kaina. He lets me keep my Kaina, which I didn't expect, but we just try an Afterburner to kill his Pankratops, just to bait it out. Because I can always just go Kagari to bring back the burner. So what I do first is go into Hayate, so I can send a spell, and then I can Shark Cannon to bring back Pank, pop a Scale, I send the Widow, just because there was like nothing better for me to send at this point. But yeah, I Shark Cannon, bring back the Pankratops right here, pop one of his guys, go into Kagari, bring back the Afterburner to pop his Reflection and his Servant, and I get a strong set of Judgment and pass. I really didn't have much left to add off of Shizuku, so I just didn't do it. He draws Reboot for turn. Great for me. Top deck Desires. I just don't do it because I don't want to. I go into Hayate, into Kagari, because I was going to need to go Kagari either way because I want to get back the Widow. And this just maximizes damage output, so we're going to hit him for 18. Puts him at 47. If he draws no Playmakers, I can win next turn since I have a Drone and Rose, and he ends up not playing at all. So I go into Hayate, activate the Drone to summon out the Kagari again, and then I'll have enough spells engrave to where it'll be 100 over for game, so I just add back Afterburners, just add it back, summon the Rose, and that'll be game 2. So we get to go to game 3. And he's gonna end up going first. He had a normal Time Gazer and then summon the Soul. There's no reason to use a Soul right here because he knows this card's gonna be really good against me. So he will add off of the Crowley, and luckily for me, he gets the Blue Boy. I got so lucky right here. Holy shit. It really wasn't deserved, but oh well. So here, I play really poorly into his board. I misread how this card worked, and I thought it meant that if you destroyed a card that didn't have an effect to pop itself, that you'd, like, pop the right hand. Instead, I should just normal summon Ray, attack, and then attack with Hayate, and then I could do the Area Zero Desires play, but I don't know. It's fine. My Desires is really not that good. Like, the multi-roll is nice. The Mystic Mine is very subpar. Yeah, we're just gonna Ray into Hayate. Hayate, send the Widow Anchor, add back the Widow Anchor. Summon Shizuku. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Shark Cannon, because I know most likely that he got the Blue Boy, so what I can do is I can Shark Cannon, banish a thing, reset it off multi-roll, and then if he does summon Blue Boy, I can go Shark Cannon to force the right hand, and then I can Widow Anchor it and negate it. I want to save the Ash for something more impactful, like a Servant or anything else, so I end up doing the Shark Cannon and Widow play, which, you know, goes off without a hitch, luckily. And then, yeah, he goes Mastery into Servant. Before he can pen summon, I just get rid of the Servant, just because it just feels like the right thing to do at the time. I didn't because he only had one other thing in scale. I really didn't want him pen summoning. Like, I didn't care about him summoning the Time Gazer. I just didn't want him summoning something else from hand that was going to be, like, you know, really impactful, which, luckily, nothing happened. So, we're just going to go into Hayate, attack over his Blue Boy, and then we get to go into... well, I send Rose just because there was, like, nothing else good to send at this point. So you're going to Rose into Kagari, get back the Widow Anchor, and then we get to go into Shizuku. I just set 2 pass. So that way if he just summons a bunch of monsters, I can Metaverse play Mystic Mine, so I'm sitting pretty okay at this point. And luckily, he just draws nothing, so that means I'm so lucky I get the pass. I get to normal summon Ash, and that is game. Oh my god. I was sweating so much in this match because Pendulum is such a hard matchup for this. So I got really fortunate there. So, you know, I'll take that. So now we get to go into top 8. Unfortunately, I had to play against Guru right away. Game 1, I just don't have, like, the main deck lineup I like for this deck. Goes for Duality immediately, which is fine. Adds the Fiendus. And then he just normal summons Guru, so I know he has plays and everything. I don't know what exactly yet, but I'm going to draw for turn. I have the Hornet Drone, so I can at least play. I go for Terraforming to get the Area 0, because the plan is just do the multi-roll and then activate Area 0, and I'm actually going to do Area 0 to target the drone. He does negate my multi-roll, but luckily I still do have the Hornet Drone, so it's perfectly fine. I decided to just go after my Widow Anchor, just because I want to try and get into other potential resources. I hit the Shark, which... Or no, I hit the Ray. That's even better. So Ray's pretty nice. We'll take Ray. So right now I'm sitting pretty okay. I don't try and force out the Guru yet. I just go directly into Hayate, attack directly. Do I have any water in my room? I don't think I do. Damn it. I'm thirsty. So I try and send something because my game plan was going to Kagari in main phase 2, but he has a summon limit, so this is, as much as I hate to say it, this is going to slow me down way too much to be able to have, like, progressive plays in this game. So I just had to end up passing. I do have an Ash for his Guru, and luckily he just passes. So right here, I can just go straight into Kagari to add back the, I can go Widow or multi-roll. I can't remember what I do. I go multi-roll just because that's, like, generally more impactful. I do have the Cosmic for his skill drain. At the time, I considered it more important to hit the skill drain. Definitely is more important, let's be real for a minute. So I get to add back the multi-roll. And then right here, I can just activate multi-roll and then use Area 0 to target my set, and hopefully I can get into, like, a Widow Anchor or something. That's, like, the main thing I need. But I also just want a multi-roll because I just need to be able to stay in the game as best as possible. I attempt to attack into his Guru. I didn't know his last set was Final Battle, so unfortunately I die. But I get to summon back Ray. It's just gonna have to sit there this turn, so I didn't get to abuse multi-roll as much as I'd like to. And then he top decks Duality, getting himself a Fiendus. So at this point with Final Battle Fiendus, it's gonna be pretty much complete and utter control, but he's actually gonna get set rotation just because, you know, Hidden City is pretty good, apparently. He attempts to book my Ray, but I do end up chaining it out into Kagari to get back the Widow Anchor, which, yeah, he has a set rotation for me, so he's just going to be plussing too much after this. He gets the Archer, flips a Guru. I really should have Veiler right here to force out the Final Battle so I didn't lose my Kagari immediately, but, like, I brain farted even though I thought about it. I don't know, but yeah, at this point, yeah, Final Battle's gonna flip, do that. I can't summon anything else, so I just let the Ray go. I attempt to banish something to get back the Hornet Drone, so I have plays. Unfortunately, because Final Battle can also look Subterra monsters if they're on my side of the field, it's just gonna not end up being enough. I'm hoping he forgets about it. However, he is the end up having it. I do Kagari to try and add back something, and then I just, I do Kagari no effect, take both of his monsters, because this is game then, but I really just need to test the waters and see if he does the thing, and he does end up doing the Final Battle to book his guy down. We're just going to set 2 and pass, and yeah, I do the Veiler here just to attempt to not die, but he gets Umastrix, and that's just going to basically be the end of the game, let's be real. He just has too much going now, so in the essence of time 2, we'll just go to game 2, and hopefully I get better. He starts off amazingly in this game. I have no hand trap to stop him getting, like, his plays going. He sets Guru, gets a Final Battle, like, he's sitting too well. I have double Cosmic at least, so it's not bad. He does a pointer right here, which gets rid of my only play. Goodbye, my bay. Unfortunate, but I'm at least going to be able to set 4 and pass. He's not, like, killing me anytime soon, so I'm not too scared. He does just Final Battle flip his dude face down. He has double Ash Fiendus. Jesus. Flips up the Guru right there. I Judgment, just get it out of the way because I know he has nothing else. So, like, I'm actually going to be sitting really, really nicely right here because he made that misstep. He should have just flipped it up with Hidden City. I would have considered actually Cosmic Cycloning this if that were the case. But he does just attempt a normal Fiendus and try and get back his Guru, but I have the Shark Cannon for it, which he knew, but I guess he felt like he had to go for it. So now momentum completely shifts in my favor. He doesn't attack for some reason. I don't know why. Also, I completely forgot to tell him to minus 2,000. I remembered at one point, but then I got salty that I just couldn't play. Gonna go ahead and activate multi-roll, and then I start picking apart his back row. Just to see what he had. I wanted to get rid of the Final Battle just in case. Or like bait it out before I like attempt to Ray chain in anything. But luckily he doesn't declare damage step. So I'm just gonna be able to go Ray into Hayate. I guess he wanted to save the Final Battle. I don't know why he just didn't do it, but he's just ended up scooping right there, which I feel like he could have attempted the grind, but I think it would have been too difficult at that point. So we get to go to game 3, and we'll see how this ends up here. I open pretty okay. I get to Ash his Extravagance, which is really huge. So he just normal summons Guru, set 2, pass. I draw a Veiler, which isn't really great. Normal summon the Ray, immediately go into Shizuku. I have no reason to attack this Guru yet, so I'm just not going to. He's gonna just Ash my Shizuku, and then Final Battle flip down his Guru. So I know his... where his Final Battle is, so I can play around that. He does a flip attempt to... he Final Battles a flip up his Guru, because I think I scared him last time when I Judgment his flip summon. So that's perfect for me, because now I can just Veiler him, and he just doesn't get anything off Guru. I'm gonna Cosmic his Final Battle just to get it out of the way. I have complete and utter control after that. He does flip up. There can be only one, which is kind of really not that unfortunate yet. Just because what I can do is I can, just crash with Shizuku, and then summon Ray, and then just go into another Shizuku, search for the Jamming Waves, and then pass. So that's what we're going to end up doing. And also I get to hit him for an extra 15. Yay! So Shizuku comes out, and we do exactly that play and pass. He draws Mystic Mine. I decided to let it go through and just keep the Judgment for now. I'm still not, like, scared of that there can only be one at this point. So I decided to Jamming Waves his last set, which is a pointer, which makes me feel comfortable just hitting this away, because with a Judgment and an Ash, I felt like I was going to have enough resources to where I just genuinely didn't care about what he did. So we're just going to pass right there. He draws Judgment for turn. and I get area 0. So if all goes well, I should have a very big momentum shift on my hand. So right here, I get to send away the shiz, and then the ray attacks will be really nice. He does judge me right here, and I'm like, let's see, how many spells do I have in my grave? Oh, enough to where I can just summon Kagari, go for game. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. And here's where he sees that that's just the game. So we get to advance to top 4. And at this point, I was like, man, are we actually going to let Stryker win 2 weekends in a row? Let's go, baby. So yeah, we get to play against Pac again, so we're going to do better than we did last time. Hold up. I think he did start, but he just passed, and I was like, what the fuck, Pac? What could he possibly have? I have a pretty good hand to just like set some cards and pass, so I'm feeling pretty okay about that. I just go Hayate, send Shark Cannon. That just feels like the best thing for me to do. And then I just add it back, and I get to do a set 4 pass, just to have bluffs, add a Widow Anchor, and I'm just sitting really well. He activates Midbreaker. I just Cosmic it, because I feel like if he activates it, he would have had a play. He goes for the Minstrel, gets rid of my Chill, and then kills my Shizuku, banishes my Ray, and then passes. And I'm like, Pac, what are you doing, child? What is it you doing? Draw a Desire, so I just go immediately for that. Draw nothing good at all, but I can attempt to area 0 away my Afterburner and try and get something more progressive. I get the Widow Anchor, which is... I'll take it. So now I can just summon Rose, eventually. Go into Hayate to send another Ray, because then it's live on his next turn. Or no, I send Multi-Roll, because then I can just activate Multi-Roll, and then send area 0 if I need a Ray. So, yeah. Then we go into Shizuku, set 2 pass, and get another Shark Cannon just to be on the safe side. I was thinking about if I wanted to be aggressive or not, and eventually I decided, nah, we'll play it safe for now. I definitely could have just, like, multi-rolled away the area 0. Actually, wait, I might have been out of Rays now that I think about it. Yeah, I banished all my Rays off Desire. That's actually why I sent the multi-roll instead. That's right. Now I remember. We draw a Veiler for turn, so, like, I'm just sitting really well just as far as, like, not losing. So I'm just gonna try an area 0 again, see what I can get. I'm really just trying to get my last Rose so I can go for game, but I'm going to swing with Shizuku again. I really just don't have the resources that matter enough. He summons the Abystius, really doesn't do anything, so he just gives me the game. Game 2, he makes me go first. I can't remember if he did this last match or not, but I think I sided... I don't remember if I sided correctly or not. I'm going to be real. My hand's really good for going first, though. And as you can see, he bricked pretty bad. Because one interruption stops his Diva and he just loses. I get an area 0 off of my area 0. But I'm at least going to be able to set a Shark Cannon and then do the Widow Anchor play. He top decks the Neptibus, which, I mean, is something. But he decides to not play into it, just fearing my hand too much. Whiff off the area 0, unfortunately. But we're going to be able to Hayate, get another Widow is the game plan, I believe. Oh no, there's Shark Cannon. Yeah, that's 100% better. So Kagari's going to get me the Shark Cannon. And we're going to activate Mystic Mind Pass, because if he attempts to play, then, like, he just can't do anything. I kind of put too much faith in, you know, his ability to play or not, so... Oops. But I just activate Desires, try and see what I can get. I'm debating here if I want to play aggressive or not. I just decided not to. Just activate the area 0 over the mine. Try and area 0 away the set rotation, which is what I end up doing. And I just go Kagari attack. There's nothing I really need to send off Hayate at this point. So I just go Shizuku pass. Getting the Widow Anchor. This should have been gone. I completely forgot about it until he starts making plays, and I'm like, why is this set rotation here? When he starts to try and go off, he summons a Bistius, and I just crow the Dragoons. And that's where I'm like, oh yeah, the set rotation's supposed to be gone, so you take another 100. And he just sets one passes, just because he's still too fearful in my back row. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I think I can just go off right here. And even if he, for some reason, has like an Abiru or some hand trap, I think I'd play around it no matter what. So I think I'm just really safe going off right now. So I Shark Hand him to get back his Despot, go into the Hakufabrax, summon the Veiler, get the Selene, summon the Access Code, and that's going to luckily just end up being the match. I'm able to luck it out because pack bricked. I'm sorry about that pack, but we get to the finals, and the finals ends up being salad. I didn't know how I was feeling about this matchup going into it. This dude has literally been undefeated so far, so I'm really scared of it, but we're just going to go into it, see what happens. So yeah. He's going to end up going first, obviously. He's going to want to go first either way. I open really not that great for dealing with Salad. It's probably would have been better against like any other deck. And as you can tell, his hand is just stacked. I'm just going to fast forward it. You guys can see just how absurd it kind of is. I try and Desires. He has the Ash for it. I try and pick away like the Rage or something. I miss it, unfortunately. Rage or Roar. And there's a Rage. And unfortunately, he does, play it correctly and sends a Falco, which means he gets to reset the Rage. Which means, like, I could have just sent the Impermanence in this zone, but if he was also smart, he would have just sent the Balinks to kill my mine, and then he would have just been fine. Yeah, he just has Spinny, and yeah, he just has the game from there. I have no resources to play with, so unfortunately it's a quick game 1, but we're hopeful for game 2. So game 2, I'm going to make him go first again. I open okay. I have no playmaker, unfortunately. But as you can tell, he opens relatively pretty well. I'm able to Ash to the Desires, which is pretty good. I wonder if I can see his Desires. Yeah, I can. Cool. So yeah, his Gazelle is gone, which explains, like, later on he's gonna mining for not Gazelle. So hopefully I draw Hornet Drone for turn. So that's gonna be pretty okay for me, except for the fact that he has Goes in match. So I could normal summon the Crow, go into Zeke, but I wanted to save the Crow just in case. So I just decided to set 2 pass in case he clears my token. He draws Cosmic. I think he has double Cosmic and Will, so like he's sitting really well. But at the very least, I get Rhoda, so I can get an array, and then I can make the Zeke now, and then like just not waste my hand trap. So I'm gonna slowly start poking with the Zeke. He does eventually mining. I can't really do anything about it. He summons a Foxy eventually. Yep, I decided to Widow Anchor it just because I don't want him getting more resources. I really just can't risk it. I mean, the Balinks ad is fine. He's gonna be able to will back, or attempt to will back, but I'm gonna Crow him. I mean, he could have played around it if he, like, relinked first, but I guess he just didn't want to do that. I don't have a good way of playing around the Balinks at this point. I didn't want to use multi-roll, just because, like, I want to make sure I preserved it for something a little bit more important, especially since, like, he had nothing else for Will. I was, like, logically sitting pretty okay. And he draws his second Goes in, which sucks. And I'm like, he's like, activate Will, and I'm like, okay, you have nothing. And he's like, yeah, illegal activation, whatever. So he's going to relink into the Balinks, and now he can just go for the Will again. I'll just banish his Balinks now, and then, yeah, I'll be sitting kind of okay. He does Cosmic away my multi-roll when I try and do it to get back the Shark Cannon, so I draw the second Nibiru, which is really shitty. Attack over the Balinks. I really should have just saved the Cosmic for the Will. I wasn't in a point to where I could be super aggressive either. Oh, wait, no. That's on a later turn. Never mind. I was just thinking about the mistake I make in this next turn, where I was just like, I was just desperate to play. I should have just kept playing the slow game and just hit his Will. So that way he just couldn't play if he drew, like, or like play well if he drew another. Actually, just play in general if he just drew another salad, which he drew the salad, which means now he can 100% play under Nibiru, under 5 summons, because he gets back the Rage, and I'm just going to top deck their Chameleon 1, and that's just going to be the match. So, unfortunately, lose a salad in the finals, but I had a really good run. I didn't expect to do this well with the deck. I just entered for fun, ended up working up well. Yeah, so I really can't complain about it. Yeah, still did well, all that stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this pretty long-ass video. Hopefully it was worth it for you guys, but yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a comment if you have any questions, concerns, yelling at me for net decking card for card. I don't really care, honestly. I'm okay with what I did. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bring you guys more content soon, and we'll see you next time.